So there's a really good example where in the retail industry in France, we've got a customer, and that customer receives thousands and thousands of emails, PDFs, physical documents every day. And what they really want to do is they want to understand what that document is and what's required of that document. So for example, it might have an invoice. It might have back to the change of address. It may have lots of different things. It might be for HR. So what they really want to try and do is have, again, that human touch where needed, but they want to be able to have the ability to process that document through to the conclusion. And in this instance, we have been able to deliver something that is using all of our own IP, but also, in addition to that, looking agnostically at some solutions where it will give us the ability, for example, with agentic AI. So agentic AI effectively is like having a person next to you helping to do your work for you. Yeah? And essentially, we have built something where that agent is actually doing the interpretation of what's come in and where that then should be routed to, and then start a process. So an invoice. Emails come in, there's a PDF attached to it, happens to be an invoice. The agent, the agentic agent that's specific to that, looks at it and says, yep, that's what it is. And then it will take it through to approval process, right the way through the process to get it approved. And then literally we'll be able to go back to the supplier or the customer and say, right, that's been processed. So that's a really good example where we're using what we have in our portfolio, but also we are agnostic in terms of looking at the right solution from an AI perspective to make sure that we get the highest success rates in terms of, we're talking late 90%, 90% plus at the high end of accuracy. And that means that we're extracting the right information, we're interpreting the right information, and then we're processing based on that logic. And then the output is that we can then, once it's been processed, we can archive the document and it can be easily searchable. So that's an example of a customer, and they are super, super happy. So, there's a lot more work we're doing with them. This is just part of a journey. So typically with customers, it's not just step one, you're taking the customer on a journey over time.